The sea covers over 2/3 of the planet's surface. Yet we know more about space and the universe than we do about our own oceans. Between the states of Connecticut and New York is the Long Island Sound, a naturally protected channel into New York City used for over hundreds of years. The Sound's rich maritime history has played a significant role in the growth of our country. Join us as we explore its unsung residents and its forgotten history. Hello everybody, this is Captain Dennis with Squalus Marine Divers. Today we're going to a spot called Southport No. 7 Rock Pile. And I assure you it was like this when I got here. I'm going to be using my OTS Guardian full face mask today, just to try something different. I use my full face mask mostly in the winter. I also use it for contaminated diving when I have to dive on shipwrecks that have gas or oil, or in toxic environments where I don't want any of the water in contact with my skin. As we come up on the rocks, if you look really quick, you might catch a glimpse of that blackfish. There he is. Pretty big sized blackfish. This area has a lot more oxygen than where I'm accustomed to diving. I dove this location a few years back, and I remember seeing a lot more fish than I do over in the Bridgeport area. All these little fish darting in and out are small burgles. This piece of metal is more than likely debris from the damage on the top of the rock pile. The marker must have been knocked over from a large storm surge, more than likely from last year's hurricane. This guy right here is a small sea bass. I anticipated encountering a bunch of fish here, so I brought some Clam Chum with me. It's basically a bunch of clam parts that have been frozen into a block. So I'll just make a couple of holes in here and see if I can get some fish to show up for the camera. And right after I sliced open the chum bag, here's our friend the blackfish that we saw earlier. He's a little more skittish than the burgles. Here's him slowed down. As I'm swimming along, something darts out in front of me at lightning fast speed. Poof, I don't know what that was. So I'm going to slow it down to about 10%. I still don't know what that was. Okay, everybody, let's see how good your eyes are. Can you see these next two fish? These guys are so great at camouflage, they're hiding right in plain sight. There goes one. And then there's his buddy right here. Total different color. And they're on their merry way. As I make my way to the top of the rock pile, we come across the damage. And as you can see here, fish love structure. They'll hide in or around anything that gives them cover or sanctuary from large predators. It's only a matter of time before the Coast Guard gets out here with the barge and straightens out this navigational marker. I used a couple of fresh clams to lure in some of the local residents. You can see here there's a whole mess load of burgles, and if I'm not mistaken, I think those are small porgies. They're not bunker, as bunkers are filter feeders, but they sure look like porgies to me. Somebody rang the dinner bell, and I think everybody in the neighborhood heard it. We have just as much marine life as they do down in the Caribbean or the tropics. It's just different marine life. There are all kinds of things to see in the Long Island Sound. It just requires a little bit more equipment than it would in the tropics. Now we're at the end of our dive, and as I make my way back to the surface, I'd like to invite you to check us out at squalusmarine.com. Or you can look us up on YouTube, Squalus Marine, or you can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/SqualusMarineDivers. And until next time, I'm Captain Dennis.